Hi, my name is Jonathan, and in this video I'll be talking about scaffold exercises and what I did for this past quarter, spring 2021. My project hopes to answer this research question: how to help developers understand how professional interactive front-end code is implemented. Why do they want to know that? Well, for one, intermediate web developers do want to learn professional techniques as it's important they get employed and ultimately produce industry-level code. However, the current tools available, such as Code Academy, uh, don't necessarily offer that. They only offer simple syntax or class structure level information, not necessarily tools to help learners learn professional techniques used on professional websites. And so, how would a person normally learn about a professional website? Well, they might choose to use Chrome Developer Tools, which is a very useful tool in analyzing a web page. However, tools such as Chrome Developer Tools don't surface the most relevant pieces of a code to a specific interaction, and they don't contextualize the code to the rest of the code base. And ultimately, it may be very hard for developers to sort of decipher how a change in the DOM results from a change in some piece of the code listed in Chrome Developer Tools. And yeah, it would be difficult to understand relationships just by looking at page visually or just source code and Chrome Developer Tools. And so Scaffold Exercises hopes to solve this problem by creating a resource that one shows how values change throughout a program's execution, helps developers build knowledge incrementally through these scaffold exercises, and reveal the semantics behind the variables used in the source code. On this last point, revealing the semantics behind variables used, is what I focused on this quarter. So what does that mean? Well, on the right, you can see part of the prototype used in a previous user study. The question asks what's the relationship between image and center, some expression used with like 3 different variables. Users may understand the expression listed in this image below, how some calculations used to sort of set the style, the top and left styles of the image div. However, they might not understand semantically what tile size, center, or the increments x and y actually mean in relation to the entire code. For instance, tile size is used as a unit of conversion between center coordinates and pixel coordinates used to set the top and left values of the image. And while they may understand that it's somehow used in calculation, they may not know that it's a unit, it's a conversion unit. And so what I did was try to alter the interface to sort of help users reach these outcomes where they're able to understand the semantics behind variables such as tile size in the previous example. And for this, I implemented 3 separate features. One is code isolation, another is code exploration, and finally, reflecting on previous answers from previous exercises. And these are shown here. On the left, you can see how in one exercise, a user is able to select a certain variable, whether it be center, x and y, which are the increments, or tile size, to sort of hone in on a particular variable in the context of how it's being used in setting the top and left positions of the image div. And if you select tile size as is shown in this image, the italicized variable name is shown, while all of the other values are shown as numeric ones. And from this, the hope is that users are able to sort of scaffold their learning and sort of understand from here how tile size is used as some sort of unit to convert from a number to a pixel coordinate. The middle feature is code exploration, and it allows the user to sort of dive deep into the code of a variable that they want to understand more. For example, position, which is actually not heavily covered in the main call stack, just because it may confuse users. However, if they do want to learn more about how position works and what the values in the array actually represent, they may choose to go down this different path in code exploration and sort of make conclusions based on selecting different various variables for learning. And finally, on the right is reflecting on previous exercises, where learners are able to see what they wrote in previous exercises and sort of use those reflections to just sort of build up their knowledge and answering future questions. And so with these three new features, I set out to sort of test these on users who have some sort of JavaScript experience. And the main thing I was testing was whether users reach these semantic outcomes. For instance, understanding that center is used to track position of the center tile and tile coordinates, tile size is unit of the coordinate system, and more. And finally, I really wanted to understand if they do reach these outcomes, which of these features or original features help them understand, help them reach these outcomes. And to test this, I had DTR students who had some JavaScript experience use the prototype, and yeah, you use that to get data and get my findings. And so what I learned from these user studies was that the code isolating technique actually did help users learn more deeply about a specific variable, but rather than just simply looking at the code itself. And yeah, by limiting information, by focusing a user's attention on one particular variable, it can help them sort of reveal these sort of semantic meanings. However, there may be more testing needed to sort of isolate that sort of effect from that feature. In addition, I learned that certain features and affordance do map to different variables. For instance, some variables are very image-driven, such as position, which users learn strictly from the DOM and using from user interaction. Whereas other features such as, other variables such as tile size use other features such as code isolation and being able to see the source code. And finally, the user understanding of the map div, the map div being this 3x3 grid shown on the left, their understanding of this data structure can be flawed. There are some user studies, right, where their understanding wasn't fully met with the prototype, and so potentially more exploration and how to help them truly understand what the map div means may be needed. So as next steps, I would like to run additional user studies with an updated interface and system. In addition, I would like to integrate the system model with the new changes made to the interface prototype. And finally, I would like to link the backend system to the interface and test it as a prototype for various other websites aside from the XKCD example used in my interface prototype. Yeah, that's all. Thank you for watching.